main purpose of the video today is just to kind of explain that you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on fancy and expensive gear. This is something that can be done with little to no money. I started recently myself, and so I figured it was good to start the channel as I'm starting and as I'm getting into it. That way we can learn together and we can make the beginner mistakes together, you know, and we can just kind of go on that journey at a beginner's pace instead of jumping in as a professional trying to explain to beginners. And sometimes it's better just to hear stuff from somebody else that's on your level. So the gear that I use is bottom of the line stuff. I mean, nothing fancy, nothing expensive. I keep a wet rag to go around my neck. That's it. Plastic water bottle. And I recently swapped this out. I've heard them called CamelBaks. I've heard them hydration bladder reservoirs. The pack that slides inside your bag and it has the feeder tube that comes out, and it's just, I'm sure they have their purpose, but for me it turned into more hassle than it was actually doing any good. It's a lot easier just to keep one of these in the side pack. You don't have to have an expensive tent. You can go to your local supermarket. They have store brand tents that you can get, and they're just as good. I mean, they're not top of the line, you know. There's ways that you can spend a lot of money and get really good stuff, and I'm not knocking that stuff, but you can definitely do it with little money. You don't have to have super expensive shoes made just for hiking or trail running shoes, or, you know, top of the line hiking boots. The first couple hikes I went on, I was doing it in military surplus combat boots, and they weren't the best, but they worked, you know. They got me there. I swapped those out for clearance Skechers. I mean, cheap stuff. You don't have to be expensive with this. As far as other gear goes, I've seen a lot of the YouTube backpackers, they use the propane cook stoves. A campfire will work just as good. I mean, it gets hot, it's a flame, you can boil water, you can heat up food. A campfire and a cheap cook pan will get you by. You will be okay. Another thing that I have recently tried, barefoot style shoes. I hadn't had a whole lot of miles in these, so I really can't tell you what I think of them yet, but I do like the feel of them. I do like the initial thoughts that I have on them are good. I like the fact that your toes have room to spread out and grip. It's more natural for your foot. I think that's a lot better than, you know, being cramped up inside. Like those combat boots that I wore, they were a little too small even, and so they just really squeeze your toes together, and that's your worst enemy when you're trying to put miles down, when you're trying to get good distance and do a long hike. You want comfortable feet. That's gonna make the biggest difference. And the best advice that I can give you as a beginner is just go do it. You know, you don't have to have, even if you don't have a backpack or a tent or any of that stuff yet, and you just want to go for a hike, go do it. You don't have to do anything. Take a bottle of water, start walking. That's a big misconception, is that you have to be on, you know, state park trails that are marked for hiking. No, I'm doing an 8-mile loop today on dirt roads and a 2-lane highway. I mean, you can do it anywhere. You can hike on sidewalks in a city if that's all you have, you know. the main part of it is just go. It starts with one step. I know that's cliche and you've heard it before, but it's true. It's you take one step and then you take another, and then you look up and you've been 3 miles, and then you look up and you've been 8 miles. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to get started. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. It's a great hobby if you enjoy being in nature. It's great for one's spirituality. It helps you kind of recenter yourself and to get back in touch with, what matters. If you're a religious person, it can help you get back in touch with God, spending time, it gives you time to think and time to rationalize things and time to communicate with God if you do. And it's a tremendous help, not only to your physical health, but it can be a huge help to your mental health as well. It's a hobby that I definitely recommend for anybody. And so, thanks for watching, and check back next time.